You might think Russia's biggest fear in the skies is the stealthy F-35, a marvel of American engineering. But what if I told you their strategists are actually losing sleep over a different, less obvious aircraft? Prepare to have your perceptions flipped as we reveal why Canada's seemingly modest Gripen fighter is the real geopolitical nightmare for Moscow, not the seemingly superior F-35. Forget everything you thought you knew about air superiority and geopolitical power plays. We're diving deep into a clandestine strategic calculation that will shock you. Russia's true aerial adversary isn't the F-35. Discover the overlooked capabilities of Canada's Gripen that make it a surprisingly potent and deeply unsettling threat to Russian military planners, fundamentally reshaping the northern chessboard.
Welcome to SkyJet Wings. The F-35 versus Gripen debate usually sounds simple, but from Russia's point of view, it isn't. In fact, Russia may have preferred Canada to choose the F-35, not the Gripen. As of early 2026, the Arctic is a top strategic priority for Russia. It protects nuclear submarine routes, early warning systems, and Russia's northern defense shield. Any change in Arctic air power immediately draws attention in Moscow. If Canada had fully embraced the F-35, Russia would be facing a system it knows well, centralized, NATO-dependent, and built around fixed bases and predictable logistics. Powerful, but familiar, and easier to plan against. The Gripen creates a different problem. It represents an asymmetric threat: smaller numbers, high mobility, dispersed operations, and the ability to use roads and remote bases. In the Arctic, that flexibility disrupts traditional military planning more than raw stealth. Canada's choice signals a shift from overwhelming force to adaptability and survivability. And for Russian strategists, unpredictability is more dangerous than strength. This is why on the northern chessboard, the Gripen changes the game before the first move is even finished.
Friends, if you enjoy this, like and subscribe video. The real strength of the Saab JAS 39 Gripen isn't stealth, it's where and how it can operate. Gripen is built for harsh environments. It can launch from short, rough runways, handle extreme cold, and be serviced by small ground crews with minimal equipment. In Arctic conditions, where weather, distance, and logistics decide outcomes, those traits matter more than cutting-edge sensors. Now compare that to the Lockheed Martin F-35. The F-35 is technologically superior, but it depends on long runways, advanced infrastructure, and complex maintenance chains. That makes it effective from major bases, but far less flexible across Canada's vast and sparsely developed north. This difference changes the threat picture for Russia. Instead of tracking a few predictable air bases, Russian planners would have to account for multiple small Gripen detachments operating from remote Canadian airstrips, highways, or forward Arctic locations. These aircraft could appear, operate, relocate, and disappear, compressing reaction time and stretching air defense coverage. For Canada, this means control through dispersion, not dominance. For Russia, it means uncertainty. And in military planning, uncertainty is the most dangerous variable of all. Russia's Arctic power looks overwhelming on a map, but it has a weakness. It's built around fixed infrastructure. In the high north, Russia relies heavily on a network of large air bases, radar sites, and layered air defenses to cover massive distances. That system is strong, but also predictable. Fixed bases and known routes are easier to model, target, and monitor. Now add the Arctic's biggest enemy, distance. Even for Russia, the tyranny of distance is brutal. Long transit times, extreme weather, limited diversion airfields, and constrained logistics. When a threat is centralized, Russia can plan response cycles. But when the opponent is distributed, response planning becomes a guessing game. That's exactly why a Gripen-style posture is dangerous.
If Saab JAS 39 Gripen detachments can operate from unconventional locations, remote strips, short runways, forward staging points, Russia loses the ability to say, "We know where the aircraft are, where they'll launch from, and where they must return." And once you can't confidently answer those three questions, intelligence work gets messy. Surveillance assets have to cover more locations, Tracking becomes probabilistic, not certain. Response forces risk moving to the wrong place at the wrong time. So the key vulnerability isn't that Russia lacks capability, it's that its Arctic defense structure is optimized for known basing patterns, and a distributed, agile adversary breaks those assumptions fast. That's the strategic nightmare. Not losing a fight, losing predictability.
Asymmetric warfare in air power isn't about having the most advanced jet. It's about forcing a stronger opponent to fight on uncomfortable terms. Smaller, flexible forces are designed to disrupt planning, overload defenses, and exploit uncertainty rather than win by brute force. That's exactly how the Saab JAS 39 Gripen fits into this picture. Against a larger, more conventional force like Russia, Gripen doesn't try to out-stealth or outscale. Instead, it focuses on adaptability, rapid role switching, dispersed operations, and strong electronic warfare integration. In a contested northern environment, this allows Gripen units to jam sensors, collect surveillance data, and interfere with command and control links without needing total air dominance. This matters because modern conflict isn't decided only by who sees first, but by who can deny the other side clarity. In the Arctic, where radar coverage is patchy and response windows are short, even limited electronic disruption can delay decisions, misdirect interceptors, or force defensive systems to stay active longer than planned. That kind of pressure adds up fast. For Canada, choosing Gripen reflects a broader Western shift in thinking. Instead of relying purely on technological superiority, the focus is moving toward operational flexibility, survivability, and decision space denial, making it harder for adversaries to predict, react, or escalate confidently. In short, this isn't about fifth-generation prestige, it's about fighting smart, not loud, and that's why asymmetric air power is back at the center of modern strategy. Taken together, this is why the Gripen poses a more immediate and practical challenge to Russia's northern flank than the F-35 ever could. The F-35 represents concentrated power, impressive but predictable. The Gripen represents distributed pressure, forcing Russia to defend everywhere, all the time. For Russia, that means higher surveillance demands, faster decision cycles, and greater strain on Arctic air defenses. The challenge isn't defeating Gripen in combat, it's finding it, tracking it, and reacting in time. The ripple effects extend beyond Canada. Other Arctic nations, already facing budget limits and extreme operating conditions, may begin reassessing whether flexibility and dispersion offer better deterrence than a small number of high-end platforms. This could quietly reshape NATO's northern strategy, shifting emphasis from centralized air bases to resilient, distributed operations across the high north. In the end, this raises a bigger question about the future of air power. If modern conflict rewards adaptability over dominance and unpredictability over scale, then are traditional measures of strength, stealth level, unit cost, or generation labels still the best indicators of real strategic advantage? Or has the game already changed while everyone was still counting pieces on the board? Tell us in comments. Like and subscribe SkyJet Wings. Thanks for watching.